Okay, here we are. The adhesive is dried on the spider. Voice coil depth has been set as well while we were away. I used my little gauge that I made and put the coil in there, and I can see through the inside part of the former. You probably won't be able to see it, but if you look, you can see the upper half of the voice coil winding right here. You can tell it's right there. Try pointing it a little closer. That's the top of the voice coil winding right there. So that's the depth we want. So now what we're going to do is we're going to prepare the cone for this. First thing I want to do is take a look at the old cone and where the lead out wires were at. We have the old one right here. So we'd say from the apex of the cone, the very center of the cone, out to where the lead in wires are at, it's about an inch. So what we're going to do is we're going to first prepare our cone by poking two holes. And what that'll do is it'll get us ready. You could use a pin, piece of metal, or a small screwdriver. We're going to use a little small screwdriver. So we're just going to take two holes, put one right here, not a very big hole, just a little hole to get the tinsel lead through. There's one, and the other one just a little bit over from it, right there. Okay, just like that. And what that'll do is that'll give us the ability later to take the tinsel lead, which is this right here, feed it through, solder it to the lead out wires, and then this will ultimately connect to the two terminals on the bottom. So we'll put that aside for now. So back to the driver. These are the terminals where the speaker connects to the amplifier. So we're going to unsolder those really quick and get those ready for later, because once the cone is in, we lose some working space. So let's heat this up. Pull the old wire out, throw it aside. Same thing on the other side. And to make sure the hole is clear, these are like springy, so I'm just going to heat it up and let go of it, and then it opens the hole. Heat it up, let go of it, try one more time. Now the hole is open. So we'll put this back in here. Alright, so now the epoxy. This is important because once you put this epoxy down, there's no going back. So make sure you have your coil depth or your coil height set correctly. Make sure the spider is centered. Make sure your cone is prepared, surfaces are clean and ready to go. This is pretty much where it all matters the most. So there's different types of epoxy you can use. This is a two-part, as they all are, but it has a special mixing tube, which is really convenient. Instead of having to mix the epoxy separately and then dab it on all the way around, making a huge mess, this actually mixes it as it's going along. There's a neat little thing in here, which I'm really curious who came up with this. A little thing inside here, as the two parts of epoxy go through, it actually blends them together, so as it comes out the tip, it's already ready to go. There's no need to mix it, there's no need to do anything other than just squirt it on there and you're good to go. You'll see how it's got this little thing here. Quite fascinating. That goes inside the tube, like that, and then this goes on to the end of this. Pull this off. Make sure there's nothing there. You don't want to drip it on the speaker, obviously. Put it on, lock it in place. Now, as soon as I start squirting this through here, it's going to start to mix. So this is going to be a one-time use thing. Once this is in there, unless you can get it all out of there, that's it. It's a one-time thing. This can be reused, the actual cartridge with the two parts in it, but this nozzle, which is the best part of it, really, is a one-time use thing. So make sure you get this right the first time. Let's hope I do. Okay. So we're going to push it out. You'll see it start to mix in the middle here. And there they go. They're traveling through the center. You want to push nice and evenly. When you get to the end, a little bit might come out, and that's all right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this and apply a nice bead around the most inner part of the spider, right where the tip is at right now. And what that'll do is that'll spread onto the voice coil former, which you can see just barely right there. And then when the cone drops in, it'll compress the epoxy mix onto the spider, more onto the voice coil former and itself, and everything will secure itself. It's okay if you get a little bit of it on the shim right here, because once you are finished, you just peel it back, it'll pop right off. It's not a big deal. So let's give this a shot and try getting it all on there without making a huge mess. Okay, here we have a little bead going around it. We're going to leave that there for just 1 second. And now we're going to take our cone, remembering where the lead out wires are, right here, those 2 holes we poked have to line up with that. So these 2 holes right here and here must be in the same spot as the lead out wires and the terminals. So now we're going to drop this on here. Be careful not to press too hard because you don't want to change your voice coil depth. So we'll drop this on here. Fit it onto the assembly and just give it a little bit of a spin like this to spread it out. Now I'm going to go underneath here really quick and just make sure that it's in contact. It appears to be, but you know what, I'm going to add this a little bit more. So let's pull this off really quick. You can see right here, if you look closely at the cone, there's a little dry spot right there. This is all wet, that's good. A tiny little dry spot right there, all wet around here. So you got a little dry spot there and a little dry spot there. And that really wouldn't make that much of a difference, but it could cause a problem down the road because that part of the cone might separate. So I'm going to add a little bit more epoxy quickly because it dries fast. Just a little bit more. If you can see this. Too much. Okay, now I'm going to drop the cone back on there again. Again, making sure that our lead out wires, everything is lined up, as I said earlier, facing you. Our 2 holes, same thing. I'm going to drop this on. And I'm going to spin it one more time, and with the extra we just put down, should make for an excellent bond. So spin this around a little bit like that, so it's all nice and in contact and touching. And then we're going to do a final alignment, so you can see our 2 lead out wires right here are matching with our 2 holes we made right there. Okay. Now we'll just take this and give it one final press. And that's it. We're going to wait for this to dry, and when we come back, we'll do our wire dressing, our dust cap. We're going to secure our surround down to the basket and our gaskets on top of that, and the final step will be soldering the wires to the terminals and putting the final bead of glue on the dust cap itself. So we'll let this dry for a while, and we'll see you in a little bit.